Okay, so the Spanish squat is a great variation for really getting the quadriceps fired up. And what we need to set up is a nice, thick, strong band. If the band isn't thick enough, you're going to find it very hard to kind of execute the movement without falling backwards. So you need a strong band like this, and you also need something really stable to attach the band to. So I'm using like this cable machine, or if you've got a squat rack, make sure there's weight on the squat rack so the squat rack doesn't move, etc. Now, what we're going to do is you take the band, loop it around the back of your squat rack or cable machine. You want it to be around about the same height as your knee, because we're going to attach the band just behind your knee at the top of the calf. So I've created 2 loops here. I'm just going to put one foot through the first loop, and then we're going to do the same on the other side. Okay, so here is our setup. So the bands are behind my knees at the top of the calves. I then need to take a few steps away from the anchor point to create enough tension in that band. If there isn't enough tension in the band, if we're too close, we're going to fall backwards as we perform the movement. So take a few steps back, and there should be quite a lot of tension in that band. Your feet are going to be fairly close together, so just shoulder width apart. And then you notice already that I'm in a different position to how I would be if I was doing a regular squat. I'm leaning back, there's a soft bend at the knee, and my shins are almost vertical. Now, throughout the movement on the Spanish squat, we want to think about keeping the torso as vertical as we can. So we don't want to hinge forward like we would for a regular squat into this position and letting the hips go down and back. We want to keep the torso upright like this, and we want to create a nice vertical angle at the shin throughout the movements, okay? So we don't want the knees to go forward. So we're going to start with the arms straight out in front, maintain a nice upright position with your torso, and we're going to sit back down onto the heels of our feet, trying to keep the shins nice and vertical, and then back to the top. There's no pause at the top, so we can try and build constant tension in our quadriceps as we go through the reps. Now, to begin with, you've got to find your range of motion and keeping that tension all on those quads. So I'm now just starting to really feel that burn on those quads. I'm just going to keep focusing on keeping that tension there until I've done the prescribed amount of reps.